Happy Thanksgiving, everyone out there watching this show on Thursday. I am. This is the latest edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. KP, notice. Well, first of all, I'm being rude. I'm sorry. Joining me is my colleague, sister Kenitra Pulliams. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving to you if you
And
celebrate
you
that
as
day.
well.
Thank you. But notice as you're watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, I am proud and happy to say, in the upper right corner there, notice the sponsor there, Bayou Beat. Yes, that is brand new. I hinted at the possibility of some good news to share last week. It came through, it happened. It's glorious. It's a good thing. So kudos to Bayou Beat. And I love this. I'm going to play it more and more. You can go to the website, BayouBeatNews.com. KP, I love the slogan, the catchphrase for Bayou Beat. Bayou Beat, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. I love that. I
Something
love
to
that.
be thankful. Something else to be thankful for this week.
Yes, it's amazing how timing works. And I don't know if anybody's religious, but hey, God is good. And it came through at the right time. So I appreciate that. But yes, Bayou Beat is going to be a sponsor for the next few months of this show. Hopefully, it could be a long term thing going forward. But kudos to her. I'm not going to say her name yet, because I'm trying to get her an interview with her later on as well at some point
Hey,
to time it all together. But yes, you're watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Takeover, sponsored by Bayou Beat, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku, of course. And y'all know it. Get Roku if you don't have it, so you can get the BS3 network. Download the app so you can get BS3 TV, that app, because BS3, we're changing the way you watch TV. KP, we are recording this show again Wednesday night so we can celebrate Thanksgiving with our friends and loved ones on Thursday as you watch this show. Hopefully, you watch this show Thursday between prepping for meals or before you sit down and eat with your family and your loved ones. But I'm not much of a football guy anymore. I was trying to dabble and get my toe in there with football and college basketball. It's just too much to do. It's just too much. I can't devote as much time to it. But I have been paying attention to the CFP rankings committee, and apparently the CFP committee members don't appreciate the Big 12, the parity that is in the Big 12. What are your thoughts on Boise State being ranked ahead of, heck, Arizona State, Kansas State? Pick a Big 12 team that has a better strength of schedule than Boise State. But your thoughts on it, Ms. KP, Kenitra
I
Williams?
mean, it depends on what each committee member values. Is it strength of schedule? Is it strength of record? Is it the eye test? Is it brand association? I mean, if you think that the Big 12, it's considered one of the power four conferences, so you may even subconsciously think that it's tougher to be a conference champ, if you're in the Big 12. I mean, because you see, every week, I mean, there's no one team that is no longer undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
in the Big 12. So, that may say, or do you say it's watered down, or do you just say it's that competitive?
Well, depending on the conference, apparently, because if you beat up on each other in the Big 12, see, the conference isn't very good. But if you don't beat up on each other in the SEC, see how the balance, see how competitive every team and every game means something in that conference. Why is that, KP? What's the difference?
It's who have your national champions been? If you take away Michigan,
Right? Yeah, Georgia, Alabama. Yeah, yeah. Say
yeah,
so. He who owns the gold makes the rules.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not right. That and that's one of the reasons why I have, for years, pulled away from college football, and it's just not. It's before the CFP expanded to 12 and soon to be 14, 16, 24 if the SEC continues to, cannibalize itself and Commissioner Sankey wants to get as many teams as possible from his conference in there. He's going to have to make it grow and grow and grow. It's just, it used to be an invitational, and you just invite two teams from the SEC, and then maybe a team from the Big Ten, and then maybe, oh, you folks from that other conference, the Pac-12 or the Big 12 or the ACC, we might consider you. We might deem you worthy. But now it's different. Now top four teams get a bye, get to host, the second round matchups. There is a chance, the 9-way tiebreaker, the 9 teams, non-Big 12 teams still available, still eligible to win the conference championship. Wow. But there's a chance,
with one game left to play.
with one game left to play, there's a chance that the Big 12 does not have any team in the CFP 12, based on what happens with Tulane and other schools. If the wrong Big 12 teams win and advance to the college championship, the conference championship, where who's performing for the Big 12? Who was it?
Neo.
Brett Yormark, getting that culture vibe with the fans and everything like that. But it needs to be better. I hope it'll work out for the football fans and the followers of the Big 12. Commissioner Yormark made some comments earlier in the week to Yahoo Sports, Ross Dallinger. Look at the data. I mean, the data says that the Big 12 deserves to be ahead of Boise State. But as you said, it's subjective. What do the committee members value? KP, it should not be that difficult. I mean, head-to-head rankings, strength of schedule, who you beat, all those things should matter. Yes, Boise State took Oregon down to the wire, but other than that, the rest of their games, they haven't really played anybody as tough as the teams in the Big 12. That shouldn't matter. That should not be subjective. You just see that. They're getting credit for the Oregon performance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That is still carrying them thus far.
Yeah,
they struggle with a 2-9 Wyoming.
That and the individual performance of Ashton Jeanty. I mean, yes. You go over 2,000 yards.
Oh, yes.
But again, the quality of competition in which he's accomplishing that mark.
It should matter, and you look at numbers, and there's human beings involved, so there's egos involved, personalities involved. Sometimes you just let the computer do it. But even the computers, how do computers get their information?
From
humans. You got to program it. Mm-hmm. So there's still going to be some bias in it anyway along those lines.
Yeah. Whoever codes it.
Yeah. All right. We haven't talked since Saturday, Sunday in women's hoops was shaken up.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Notre Dame's win at USC on Saturday? Then follow that up with UCLA's thumping of South Carolina on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, LA was a place to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing with women's basketball. They play a competitive non-conference schedule every year. Now the men, if whatever holiday tournament, you'll see, or you'll have the ACC SEC Challenge, or you'll have the Champions Classic, to where you have, typically really good games. But other than that, you really don't see a lot of the ranked teams playing each other, so early in the year. I mean, the women, every year, UConn,
mm-hmm.
Tennessee, South Carolina, UCLA, USC, Notre Dame, they'll play each other, and I think it's great. It's great for the game to see it early in the year, but it's also a great barometer of like, okay, what did you look like in November? What do you look like in March? So, I mean, I think it was great. But again, the team, who you are in November, whether it's, trying to evaluate who you are, or if you have a team, a totally rebuilt roster, like, okay, how are these pieces fitting together? So there's a lot to evaluate, but it's just like, you don't want to be playing your best basketball right now.
Right.
So like, hey, a loss now season's not ruined by any means. It's like, all right, okay, so these are our weaknesses, these are our inefficiencies. Okay, here's what we need to work on to get better to where we want to be in March and in April.
Of the two wins, Notre Dame's win over USC, UCLA's win over South Carolina, which was more impressive to you?
I mean, I would say USC losing just because they're the reigning national champions who went undefeated last season.
KP,
So
now,
to me,
see, you're showing your Southern background. You said USC referring to South Carolina
Carolina,
rather than USC as in Southern California.
the Gamecocks. Yeah, so to me that was the more, and the manner in
Yeah.
which they lost. I mean, they never led. So
I mean, they were down 20 at halftime,
yeah.
and their shooting numbers from 2-point range compared to UCLA. UCLA clearly that day was a better team, no
Hmm.
doubt. It's November. We'll see if they match up again come April,
Sure.
first week in April. But it was impressive. And Lauren Betts, UCLA's one of the most dominant bigs in women's basketball, had a pedestrian game, and UCLA
But
still
that's what
won.
Don Staley said. Like,
Yeah,
they scouted well to defend Lauren Betts. They didn't scout well to defend everybody else.
right.
So
So it's a lesson learned, and it surprised me the margin of victory for UCLA. I was not surprised that they won, but I was surprised by how much they won.
sure.
But Saturday, Notre Dame, Hannah Hidalgo, and I love her game. Olivia Miles, they took it to USC. Clearly, Juju Watkins, her and her teammates need help for Juju. She
Hmm.
still had to put up her numbers, but Notre Dame made her earn everything,
Hmm.
everything. So it's going to take them time to adjust to her new teammates. And Kiki Iriafin, coming over from Stanford, did not have a good game at all. She's one of the best big players in women's hoops. Struggled
Yeah.
again. It's Notre. It's one game in November. Sky's not falling. Things will be okay. And as we are recording this Wednesday, South Carolina's next game is Thursday against Iowa State. Iowa State and their big freshman, Audie Crooks, who scored the game winning bucket as they defeated Drake. Iowa State coming off a loss to Northern Iowa, struggled against Drake. I'm kind of curious to see how they match up against the Gamecocks. Kind of curious to see how the Gamecocks bounce back from their loss to UCLA. Big 12 women's hoops has taken a few bumps, but so has Big 12 men's hoops.
Hmm.
The Cougs have lost twice, Alabama and Auburn. The SEC fans would be raising their flag proudly all over the place. Baylor's lost a few times, men's and women's side.
Yeah.
Kansas State has lost, men's and women's side. Arizona's lost on the men's side at least twice. I saw West Virginia
Kansas has
beat
survived.
Gonzaga. Kansas has survived. West Virginia beat Gonzaga earlier Wednesday to kind of
Hmm.
put a smile on Brett Yormark's face. In a sense, let's go back a little bit. In a sense, but months ago, heck, even a year or so ago, Brett Yormark was pushing for the Gonzaga to join the Big 12. And now, in a
I
year's
mean,
time, they'll be in the Pac 12. Thoughts on that?
look at West Virginia. Early on, they had to find their sea legs
Mm-hmm.
down in the Bahamas. But you know, Coach DeVries kind of got everybody to buy in and able to take the Zags to overtime and to win that game.
And Auburn is really good. They really are good. They beat
Janai,
Memphis. Janai
ooh,
Broom is the real deal. He is an All American. He
like how
showed
do
it
you
again.
like back to back days, double double in the first half?
Yeah, he's for real, inside and outside. And there's no shame in the Cougs losing to
Mm-mm.
Auburn. No shame in the Cougs losing to Alabama. It's a learning experience for the Cougs, and they're still adjusting to their new point guard. You got to get
Mhm.
replacing Jamal shit. That's a big deal. Okay,
Oh,
Cougs. Some Coug fans, most of them are not panicking, but some Coug fans have underestimated. It's not easy to replace an All-American point guard.
No,
It does take a while to do that.
it's not
Just
easy
saying.
to replace an All-American at any position,
Yes.
much less somebody who initiates the offense or is the primary defender on the other team's best player. Like, that's a tall task.
Indeed. And as you're watching, giving your comments as you're watching this show live on Thursday, recognize and salute the new sponsor of the Takeover, Bayou Beat News. I love doing this. I love saying that. BayouBeatNews.com. I love saying this as well. She's going to see this show Thursday, and she's so excited. She's really excited about seeing the show and seeing how everything is put together now. But Bayou Beat, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. Check out BayouBeatNews.com. On a happier note, Cougs fans, yes, Coug fans, there were some good news on Tuesday when you made it official. But as I transition, I like this, transition to my slides, got to remind everyone, folks, y'all got the fancy cameras. Use that QR code, take a pic, support the Roundball Review. And hey, KP, this Saturday is Small Business Saturday. So if you want to wait till Saturday to support the Houston Roundball Review, feel free. But just support the Houston Roundball Review. You can do it via the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, tip jar. But there are ways to support the Houston Roundball Review. Just do that. Help us out. Help us out. Help you out as we continue going forward, providing coverage. It's fun. We love what we're doing. We're trying new things. You see, AJ Jones is giving me a new toy here with this new StreamYard platform. I'm not sure he realized what he was doing with that undertaking. But as I learn these different steps and how to do all these different things, we got new toys to figure out stuff. The next thing on the agenda, as I navigate to it, getting closer to it, I'm excited how this is all going to work, is reminders here, the Houston Roundball Review. Got my business directory, of which the Bayou Beat is also part of that too. If you want to advertise, I love this too. CKP, I'm learning how to do all these different things with my banners and toys. Simply email right there, advertise at thehrr.com. Boy, an older person with a new toy is a dangerous thing once he figures everything out. But next up, as I teased at it, Coach Willie Fritz made a lot of Coug fans happy with his decision to move on from OC Kevin Barbay. I love how when schools do the press release, when they announce someone's been let go, we have relieved him of his duties. QB coach, passing game coordinator Sean Bell has been named interim OC and play caller. Here's a quote from Coach Fritz, and then I'm going to play a clip of comments from Coach Fritz from his press conference on Tuesday. Quote, "We are grateful to Kevin for his dedication and contributions to our football program this season. As we continue to assess every aspect of our program, it is clear, KP, it is clear we have not met our offensive standards. They have been offensive." I'm putting it in myself. "Kevin and his family have been wonderful members of our community, and we wish them nothing but success in the future. Our focus is on finishing the season strong Saturday against BYU. A national search for our next OC will begin immediately." Now I'm going to see if I can get this. Here are some comments from Coach Fritz. Check this out, KP.
Mostly just the lack of production, we just didn't have the production that we would have liked to have had. And, that really involves all areas, total yardage, first downs, red zone, pass offense efficiency, a lot of different areas. And it wasn't from lack of effort. I mean, this guy's a hard working dude, but just didn't have the results that we wanted. And then, yes, a little bit of this is to get out in front of everything. We released it this morning, and I think I don't know how many messages on my phone when I just looked at it here a little while ago. So some of it was to get out in front of it as well. But there's no front runner. I got some people that I've, obviously that I know and respect, and we'll seek some counsel from them also. But just want to make sure it's a great fit for us here at the University of Houston.
What are your thoughts on that from Coach Fritz? Because the offense was horrible.
No,
It was
true.
horrible.
But my question is like, what difference would it have made if you waited 1 week to do it? Like, why now?
Which leads me to wonder, he has someone in mind already. Yeah. He said all the right things. The quote, the clip you just heard, he has someone in mind already.
But I mean, like, even if you have someone in mind, like, you couldn't sit on it for 7 days?
Apparently not. Maybe this person is told, maybe that person's agent says, hey, coach, you need to move fast. I got some other people lined up for this person. Maybe that's it. Who knows? But you're not the first person to ask, to mention. Yeah. Why now?
So we can expect an announcement about the new OC on Monday?
Maybe. You know, it would make sense to do it so quickly, because why not wait till Monday to announce you moved on from Kevin Barbay? Why now? How different would the offense be with Sean Bell calling the plays in this last game on Saturday against BYU?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, how many dominoes? So the new ideal OC,
Case Keenum. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, what ties does he have to the incoming recruits or to whoever they're targeting in the portal? Because early signing day is the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're so wise.
Is it somebody's personal coach, somebody's high school coach, or is it a matter of not poaching, enticing a current coach at another school to bring some of his athletes with him when he comes?
It's clear this is not your first rodeo when it comes to big time athletics. Just saying. We'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I have not asked colleagues about that part of it. I know on our Les Rage Cougs post-game show after Saturday's loss to Baylor in football, Bryce Bell, former UH running back, he put out some names. OC from Texas Tech, Juice, has ties with UH alum. He said Case Keenum. He knows Case Keenum has thought about getting into coaching once he finally retires. I'm not saying Case is going to retire at the end of this season, but I think he was injured, right? He missed this season, out this season with an injury. So maybe that'll be it for Case. And maybe Case can say, you know what? I want to run the offense for my alma mater, get UH on track offensively, and then maybe once Coach Fritz decides to step aside, 4, 5, 6 years from now, then Case will be the person to just be the coach in waiting and lead the program going forward. Maybe that's been discussed. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to wait in the background and see how it happens. I don't see my Cougs beating BYU's Cougs on Saturday in Provo. It's supposed to be cold, real cold, as in Utah cold, not Houston cold, because that's two different things. BYU needs the win. Of course, they needed the win the last couple of times in this last few weeks, and they struggled to do that. But we'll see how it all goes. Next up, as I navigate some more on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, the Cougs were not the only Houston team or Houston area team in the news regarding coaching changes. And I'm going to navigate the slides here and jump to it. Let me see if I can do it here. Got to do a few things. I'm learning how to do all this stuff here. I don't like it. But KP can't tell, and I do like that. But this one happened on Sunday.
Mostly just the lack of production.
See.
Just
I do different things that happened right there.
We just didn't have the production that we would have liked to have had, and that really involves all areas. Total yardage, first downs, red zone.
Do you hear anything, KB?
Pass offense efficiency.
So yeah,
a lot of different areas, and it wasn't from lack of effort. I mean, this guy's a
do you see the
hard
slide?
working dude.
That's the important thing.
Just
Okay,
didn't have the results that we wanted, and then yes,
but
a little
yes,
bit of this is
I did
being
not
in
know
front of
Bub McDowell's first
everything.
name was Leonard.
We released it this morning, and I think we had
But I mean,
I don't know how many messages on my
I
phone
mean,
when
like,
I
did you really
just
give him a
looked at it here a little while
chance?
ago. So some of it was to get out in front of it
3 years.
as well. But there's
He
no
signed a 3-year
front
contract.
runner. I got some people that
Unfortunately, he signed a 3-year contract.
obviously that I know.
So yeah, 3-year contracts for Bud McDowell. He was let go on Sunday by the new AD, Anton Goff. Well, new-ish AD. I think he's been around 2 years. And Bubba won one title with Prairie View. He didn't have was under 500, but like 5-7. The offense did struggle this year, but that was due to being without the quarterback. So that's kind of important. But that was one of the moves in the news, and it surprised some people because Bud McDowell is a Houston area football icon. So did that surprise you?
I mean, to me, it surprised me like how quickly they decided to make a change. Like, instead of taking into consideration the extenuating circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, okay, the offense takes a step back, but like, why? I mean, if you'd had if everybody was healthy, especially the person most responsible for the offense, the record might be, I'm not saying they'd be undefeated, but take it into consideration.
And it makes you wonder if Anton Goff has someone in mind that he's worked with previously to bring aboard as the new head coach at Prairie View A&M. We'll see on that one.
Mostly just the lack of.
Let me get rid of Coach Fritz. There we go. But yeah, did you know Bubba's name was Leonard?
No.
I did not know that. Leonard Bubba McDowell, his contract will not be renewed. And I'm surprised I was leery when he signed only a 3-year deal to begin with. Because usually in college landscape now, you sign a 4 or 5-year deal.
Except you should get a full
recruiting class. The whole cycle. Yeah. So just a 3-year deal. Shame on Bubba and his agent for that.
For settling.
For settling. Some TSU fans, I think some even PV fans have said maybe Chris Dishman should bring his former teammate with the Oilers, Bubba, bring him down to TSU. Who knows? But the press releases from the folks in charge when they move on are just so fluffy. Coach McDowell's commitment to helping our student athletes succeed in life, both personally and professionally, is admirable and a true reflection of his character. As we advance, Goff said that university priority will be identifying a head coach with the vision and leadership skills to move the program into the upper echelon of the SWAC and FCS football. PVAMU will begin a national search for its next head football coach immediately.
What was the statement issued when they hired Leonard McDowell?
Something very similar.
Exactly. Sure. We love his vision and his experience, and he is the right man to lead our program forward, right?
True reflection of his character, to be a leader of men, all those great things. We value his professionalism. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And 3
years later.
Yeah.
3 years later. It's all gone. Some more football news happened locally as the Rice Owls announced their hire of a new coach. And I put together some of the info in the bio because it's a lot from Coach Scott Abel. Chuck Poole did not really give you a pronunciation of how to pronounce Coach's last name. I'm going to say Abel right now. If it's a Bell, Coach, I apologize. I'll get to know you eventually. But Tuesday, Rice VP and AD Tom McClellan announced that Scott Abel has been named the new head football coach at Rice. Now, Rice Rice's football title, Rice's head coach and their women's basketball head coach have a sponsor over it, but I'm not going to. I cut that out of the reason because they're not paying us, so
Private
why give them
schools.
credit? Yeah. But upon his arrival at Davidson, that's where he come from, in 2018, Coach took over a program that had not won more than 2 games in a season since 2011, and it had gone winless in conference play in 4 of the previous 5 seasons. He immediately led the Wildcats to their first winning season in more than a decade, on the way to 7 consecutive winning seasons. He leaves Davidson as the winningest coach in school history, compiling a 47-28 record in 7 seasons, 35-18 in the Pioneer Football League. Did you know that's where Davidson played football? Did you know that already?
I didn't look. If it wasn't for Steph Curry, I wouldn't know much
That's about Davidson.
about Davidson.
Davidson captured a pair of PFL championships and made 3 appearances in the FCS playoffs. It's impressive. He was twice named Pioneer League Coach of the Year. I mean, salute to him. It's some nice stuff. I commend him and everything else, and we're going to learn more about Coach. He likes to run the ball. I respect that.
Okay.
Coach joined the Wildcats following a 6-year stint as head football coach at Division III Washington and Lee University.
Okay.
While leader of generals, Coach posted a 39-24 overall record and
ODAC.
won the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Championship.
I did know about the ODAC because I worked in Virginia, so
okay. Well,
I covered Washington and Lee.
I had no idea about that, but see, his conference peers selected him ODAC Coach of the Year on 3 occasions, and he was tabbed the Willie Lanier Virginia State Coach of the Year twice. Coach served as the Washington and Lee OC until 2012, when he became the head coach. Under Coach, the Generals were transformed into a national rushing powerhouse, leading the NCAA Division III in rushing 3 of his final 6 seasons. So he likes to ground and pound. I like that. That's old school. I'm not sure how much it's going to work here in the state of Texas, but we shall see. But lastly, his 2015 squad went undefeated in the regular season, the first to do so in program history, and set records in total yards, 5,439, of which rushing was 4,773, and points scored 417. His head coaching career started uphill in 1997 at Liberty High School near Lynchburg, Virginia, where he turned an 0-10 program into district champions in 3 years. He moved to nearby Amherst High School, which had not brought home a state title in a dozen years, and led team to back-to-back state titles. So he has the skill set of being a builder. I knew nothing of him prior to the announcement. I wish him well. I'm kind of curious as to his ties to Texas regarding recruiting, how he's going to put that together to assemble his staff, because I'm curious to see how many Texas high school coaches know anything about this man. Okay, sure. That's a key. And it's Rice. Rice is high academics.
Yep.
Elite academics. So how is he going to get the high school kids to play football at a high level, but also excel in the classroom for Rice to compete and win? So what are your thoughts on the package? There's got to be some ties. I don't know the ties with A.D. McClellan and Coach, but there got to be some connection, I'm assuming, because Tom McClellan before La Tech, I'm not sure where he was before La Tech, before he came over to Rice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Davidson, I mean, you're having to recruit. I'm not saying take the leftovers, but, you're in the same region with a bunch of ACC schools, so, okay, granted, everything's bigger in Texas. So you're having to recruit the same area if you're going to go the high school ranks, with your crosstown Big 12 team, in Houston, but all of the other football programs, and I'm not even saying Big 12. I mean, you have Sam Houston State and you have Texas State. So, and then having it's probably he'll have to bring, if he thinks someone is worthy
Mm-hmm.
of transferring, from Davidson, bring him along with him. It worked for Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. So, it shows that you can go from a lower tier school up. But again, as you said, the academic requirements at Rice and the style of football, is that going to work at Rice?
Yes. I'm curious about that for sure. Okay. Bottom of the hour, a little bit past the bottom of the hour. Going to play my BS3 promo. But of course, you're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, sponsored by Bayou Beat News. If I smiled more, y'all would know it. But BayouBeatNews.com. Salute to her. Check out BayouBeatNews.com. She's doing big things there, and we have a lot in store and partnering each other. She's going to put up some of the work and videos from my channel on her website. So it's going to be a good partnership. We have a lot of things in store for the rest of this year and 2025 as well. But Bayou Beat, I love the slogan, Bayou Beat, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. But yes, bottom of the hour, go to BayouBeatNews.com. The takeover, the Houston Roundball Takeover, is powered by JM&E, also available via the BS3 network. And if you're new to the show, thank you. Come again, tell your friends. But here is a promo to give you a little bit of an idea of what BS3 is all about. You're watching the Houston Roundball Takeover via BS3, streaming live on ROKU. Yes. Well, you watched it live on ROKU. But check it out. The BS3 promo. We'll be back in about 35 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by Bayou Beat, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. I am KG Chris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. With me is my colleague, Miss Kenitra Pulliams. KP and I wish everyone who's watching the show happy Thanksgiving. KP, what's your specialty for Thanksgiving? What can you do best?
Eat.
That's my answer. That's
Eat.
my answer.
Look, eat and watch football and basketball. That is what I'll be doing.
You don't have.
But as far as like what are my must-haves?
Mm-hmm.
My mama's rice dressing.
Okay.
Like I'm not like I could take it or leave the turkey, like whatever. I'm more of a
Me
side.
too. Yeah.
I want the cornbread dressing, the rice dressing, rolls, hot rolls, and my sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie. That's me. Sweet potato pie. I eat the yams. I mean, greens, vegetables, all that stuff. I'm not big on it. Some of my friends and family, instead of turkey, they have ham. I probably prefer some ham instead of turkey sometimes. But
Yeah,
I'm veggies and sides.
Ham for Easter.
Veggie and sides. That's what I want. Give me the sides. Turkey, if you have it, good. If not, yeah, whatever. I can take it leave. But just fill me up on everything else. The mac and cheese, everything else. The green beans, the mustard greens, collard, whatever you other greens, I'm there to eat it all. So just let me know, and I will be there. And in fact, I'm not sure when she watches this, Need to ask her what she's going to do. And speaking of her, let me see if I can chime this in. I'm going to turn this off, this slide. We'll get to others in a moment. But I want to recognize and acknowledge this woman right here, the queen of the Houston Roundball Review support, Miss Wanda. She's sporting the new hoodie with the new logo. You see it. She even got the picture back. You see the back of the hoodie has the logo on it. But you see the new Houston Roundball Review hoodie there. And I'm going to get this as well. Let me see. And gotta be. So everybody, order your Houston Roundball Review merch. Please do so. And as I said earlier in the show, Small Business Saturday is coming up. It's November 30th. So you can buy you some Houston Roundball Review merch. Get that new logo. Get you a hoodie, long sleeve shirt. It'll get cool here in Houston at some point, for a week. And then won't warm up again in a day like it did this week. It was cool, then hot on Wednesday. So I got short sleeve shirts with the new logo. I got long sleeve shirts. I got sweatshirts for the Northerners. Internet. I take orders all over the place. But the hoodies, and that's a zip up hoodie too. So different ways to support the Houston Roundball Review. But yes, within days of launching the new merch, Miss Wanda purchased that hoodie. Within days. So bless her for her continued support. She's bought the original merch with the original logo. She's bought Folks Talking Sports merch. She's just been a rock supporter. She's been a rock star, and I want to acknowledge her. But Miss Wanda, as you watch this, I am going to reach out to you on Thursday and ask you what you can do, what your specialty is for Thanksgiving, because I'm just curious, because she had invited me over for Thanksgiving. I kind of hurt on that, Miss Wanda. But anyway, much love to you, and I really do appreciate everything you do for me and for the Houston Roundball Review. I've gotten to meet her husband and her daughter, so we become a family, an extended family. So she's very important to me, and that's what I recognize her and tell her how much I appreciate her for her continued support. All right. Now, folks, as I get back into the swing of things and figure out how to do all these wonderful things here with this new toy, I'm going to talk about some good news that took place. This young man right here, Chris Senack, signed with the Cougs. Link Academy's Chris Senack announced his decision that he signed with the Houston Cougars men's program on Tuesday. But the key phrase there, next paragraph, after signing with Houston last Wednesday, because that was the last day of the basketball fall period, Senack made Tuesday's public announcement in Salt Lake City, where Link Academy was competing in a tournament this week. So one more time. Chris signed last Wednesday. I hinted, KP, on last week's show that there was a possibility that the Cougs would have some other news to share. This is the news. I was told last week about, we got to, might have a fourth person to announce. The Chris Senack signing was the fourth person. I'm trying to get more folks to recognize and appreciate. Make sure I do know a few things. I do know some people. I'm just saying. But Senack chose the Cougs over Kentucky, Auburn, Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU, and Baylor. He is the real deal, folks. The real deal. 6'10", 230. I don't know about 230, but anyway. He is a consensus 5-star recruit by 24/7 Sports, On3, Rivals, and ESPN. And the school always has put this in there. He will compete as a freshman beginning during the 25-26 season and have 4 years of eligibility. KP, he's one and done. Okay, he's one and done. He's a 5-star. He's a one and done. He was a top 10 recruit by all the national recruiting organizations and was listed as the number 1 center in the country by 24/7 Sports and ESPN 100. Here's more info. This is some from ESPN. Jeff Borzello and Paul Biancardi. He has a 7'4" wingspan that allows him to contest shots, block shots, and gain deflections. Offensively, he produces inside and out with back-to-the-basket moves, footwork, and an effective jump hook. He also has an impressive face-up game, comfortable out to the three-point line. He already shows the rim running, mobility, shot blocking, and touch of today's modern big man. Ranked number 7 in the ESPN 100, C-Knight becomes the Cougs' highest-ranked recruit since the ESPN recruiting base began in 2007. With him in the fold, Houston now has the number 2 recruiting class in the country, behind only Duke. C-Knight joins a group that already includes top 25 guards, Isaiah Harwell, number 14 ranked, Kingston Flemings, number 21, and 4-star guard Bryce Jackson. KP, I haven't gone back and checked, but before Bryce Jackson signed, he was a 3-star. Like a month ago. He was 3-star because he was still coming off his leg injury. Really 2 years of injuries and surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a 4-star all of a sudden. So, but the Houston Cougars, the number 2 recruiting class in the country, behind only Duke. What do you think about that, Miss KP? Can you report this?
I mean, yes, it's great. It makes headlines. And basketball is different than football. But at the same time, can you supplement this great recruiting class with a key experienced transfer?
And that is the plan.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like because the learning curve is steep.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your name is Cooper Flagg, it's still steep.
Yes.
Going from high school to college, and being thrust into starting the lineup right away. I mean, your body's not ready for college,
mm-hmm.
and a 40-game schedule. So you need someone to come in and just kind of like, all right, to where each player doesn't have to come in and be the man
mm-hmm.
every night. It's okay to just to kind of learn the ropes and pace yourself for the rigors of college basketball.
And I'm curious, as the Cougs enter this new era of multiple 5-star signees,
mm-hmm.
this is probably going to impact some of the current players.
Mm-hmm.
In this era of transfer portal, some of the current players, heck, I don't know if it's happened already, but at some point, the coaches may say to the players at the end of the season, it might be in your best interest to look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to help you find the best fit for you. We thank you for your time. It'll be like the press release version of letting a coach go. Thank you for your time here. Thank you for everything you've done for our program. But it might be in your best interest if you look elsewhere.
Seeking other opportunities.
Yes, seeking other opportunities. Well put. See, you're better at this than I am. But yes. Okay, so I think that's going to happen. And the Cougs may not be done. I think they are. But there's a slim chance they might get a 5th person.
To the best of your knowledge, why the week delay in announcing his signing?
I'm glad you asked that because I'm going to try to play this. And, well, I'm going to preface what I'm going to play. The clip I'm going to play is via the Bleacher Report app.
Mm-hmm.
Chris announced with his mom, his teammates, at an eating establishment. Popular for wings.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that eating establishment, and you see it throughout the tournament,
mm-hmm.
is one of his
supporters,
NIL supporters. So I think that's part of why he did the delay. He's a brand. He's a business person. And that's another thing I think some of the older alums, not just at Houston, but all the other programs, going to have to accept that these young athletes, male and female, they are brands now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to market themselves as such. And that's part of the NIL landscape. Coach Sampson has said it. You can like it or not like it, but it's here. So it's, might as well accept it because it's not going away anytime soon. But when I play the clip, you will see Chris taking a bite of a wing.
Product placement.
Bingo. All right, so let me turn off one slide and play another. All right, here we go. Chris seeing that, Coach Sampson, and Paige Kuhn from Bleacher Report, who's the one you see asking the questions.
Well, first of all, I'm happy for his family, especially his mother, Sharita, his father, Chris Sr., and his little sister, Corey. I know this has been an arduous process to get to this point, but as we progress with this with Chris, I can't say enough about Quantas White, who is the point person for Chris, being able to lay the groundwork, get all the behind-the-scenes stuff done, the hours and hours of evaluation and going to see Chris play all over the country. But just as Chris chose us, we chose him too. And I think it's important to know how important Chris's family is in this and supported him every step of the way. He's got a great mother in Sharita, tremendous father, Chris. His little sister, Corey, again, were all important in this decision for him. But we're excited about Chris. We think he has the chance to really improve and get better and reach all of his goals and dreams. He was very consistent about what he was looking for from day one. He wanted to go somewhere where he was going to get challenged and pushed and be the best he can be. And I think that's why he chose Houston, and we're excited that he's here, and I can't wait to start working with him in the summer.
Awesome. Well, you talked a lot about the recruiting process with him. I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead. Do you want to say anything else to Coach before we ask him a few questions about you?
Nah, I was just thanking him. I mean, him recruiting me since the beginning for like almost everyone, so just want to thank him a lot. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to get better.
Look at
I
that.
can't wait.
And he's funny.
Yeah. No, Chris is, I think, a coach's dream. He wants to be good. He's got the talent. He's got the drive. Now let's put the time and effort and purposeful work in. Let's see how good, and let's see how far we can take this. I mean, we're all excited. Our whole staff. My whole staff is sitting here by me, so they're just as excited as I am.
Well, we love to hear the excitement. Coach, what is it specifically maybe on the court that captured your attention with Chris during the recruiting process?
I think his versatility. I don't, Chris isn't really a center. He's a basketball player more than he's a position player. We like the fact that he can stretch the floor with the three ball. We also like the fact that he can pass it and make his teammates better. But the areas of his game that he needs to improve on are the things that I think that we've been pretty good at here, whether it's with Jarris Walker or Jamal Shedd, Quentin Grimes, Marcus Sasser. We've had a lot of driven kids that's been drafted into the NBA, and I see Chris as one of those guys.
Now, before he gets to the NBA, how do you see him impacting your team next season?
Well, we're going to lose some key seniors, especially our starting four-man in J1 Roberts. We think Chris can come in here and be a versatile big, help us stretch the floor with his three-point shooting, bang the boards and rebound, be a shot blocker, and be complete. We're not going to plug him in one area. We're going to use him all over the floor. But I think his greatest strength right now is his skill set and his versatility.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. Chris, any parting thoughts for your coach?
I'm ready to work, Coach. That's all I got to say.
I can't wait to. And again, I want to congratulate his mom, Sharita, and his dad, Chris Sr., and his little sister, Corey. They've been awesome every step of the way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Coach, for joining us, and good luck tonight.
So there you go. What are your thoughts on what you heard there from Coach Sampson and Chris Senak, ready to work.
Ready to work. Thanks to family multiple times. Like, just read the, he does it right after scouting report from Vegas. You can recognize the conference room, and it's like, okay, and then the whole staff. So like, great. We'll see what happens.
And you could tell, for everyone who's watching, that had been planned. Okay, goes back to the part of the press release and the announcement. Chris signed last week. Right. So it wasn't like Bleacher Report, called up Coach Kelvin Sampson 5 minutes after Chris announced his choice of going to Houston.
On the day of a game.
Yes, on the day of a game.
Usually coaches are so locked in on scouting report, pregame meet, like you have walk through, shoot around, blah. Oh, let me take a timeout to acknowledge the signing that happened a week ago.
Yes. So
that's cynical me.
No, but that's also correct you. And that's another reason why I like working with you on these shows, because of your insight, and you keep it real. And Kenitra Williams, have you moved on from one social media platform to another yet?
I have flown the coop.
Okay.
I'm evaluating my options,
okay.
social media options.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll decide what's best in the best interest of my future.
Keep me posted on that. I have as well. That's why I've done this for a while now. Did it for a while. I'm on IG, Spoutable. Need to add Blue Sky on here, but IG, Spoutable, Threads, and TikTok. Houston Roundball Review. But as wrap it up on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by Bayou Beat, BayouBeatNews.com. Bayou Beat, bring in that Southern love to your daily news coverage. You're going to see this a lot for the next few weeks through probably February. The new sponsor, new partnership with Bayou Beat. So thank her for her support and for keeping her word as I wrap up this edition of the Takeover, because KP, this year's been rough because some folks I thought I could trust and some business people did not come through. Heck, some of them just stopped calling or stopped emailing, responding to text. But yet I still see them follow me on platforms. Go figure that. But anyway, as I wrap it up, Ms. Kenitra Williams, thank you very much, as always, for taking time. And
anytime.
Again, happy Thanksgiving to you. And we're going to do this again probably on Wednesdays for a while, if that's okay with you.
Cool.
Because of my changing work schedule. But everyone, Small Business Saturday is this Saturday. Support the Houston Roundball Review. Order your Houston Roundball Review merch. One more time, if I can get that up. As a reminder, as a note, y'all know, support the Roundball Review. Buy you a mug, buy you a hat, buy you a shirt, buy you a hoodie, buy you a long sleeve shirt, I got to get into some shorts. I got to get that too. But finally, last but not least, y'all know it, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective.